What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the Perry Experience. I'm Matt, and this is Erica, and we have a great show for you guys today. This is the third episode, and we're going to jump right into it. Actually, I'm going to ask that you hit the like button, because it helps us out a lot if you really hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. But let's not waste any more time. Let's just get right into the action.
Oh, okay.
A lot of action?
Yeah.
You sound confident.
Yep.
How's your day going, actually?
Great.
Okay, perfect. So what you got going on?
We've got an update.
An update?
From the first show.
What? Wait, update on what?
Oh my gosh. The Peloton situation.
Okay. Jeez.
Come on.
I'm lost here.
Follow.
All right. Well, what's the update?
So the guy that played the husband in the Peloton commercial gave his actual girlfriend in real life a Peloton bike.
Wait, as a joke, or is
no, like a real present. Like he posted a picture on Instagram with her like on the bike, and he captioned it, "Here's hoping this goes over better the second time. Merry Christmas to my actual girlfriend," and then in parentheses said, "Please don't leave me."
So it was a joke then. He was just trying to shine light on the fact that
but he
it was
actually
just a
bought it
joke.
for her though.
Well, yeah, but I think overall, it might have been just a joke. Even though he bought it for her, it probably was like, hey, I'm doing this. It was a joke the first time.
Okay,
or
but
it was okay to get, but it wasn't something that she should have been scared for.
Or Peloton was like, gave the bike to him and was like, hey, give this to your girlfriend, and then post it on Instagram. You know what I'm saying?
Did he not post her reaction as well?
No, it was just a picture.
Okay, because then people would have been like, oh, she looks scared too.
Yeah, right.
Like, something like that.
But no, I thought it was interesting. Like, I was wondering if Peloton did like give it to him to give to her, or if he actually paid for it.
Yeah, basically to say like, oh, this is getting so much traction. Here's a Peloton, so then we can get our name out there again.
I was gonna say they're in the news again.
Yeah.
So my other question was, do you think the Peloton profits have gone up or down this year?
I don't know. Without checking it, if I was just thinking about it right now from the two conversations that we've had on Peloton, I would probably say that their profits went up compared to.
I think so too.
Yeah, because it's ridiculous how much traction they're getting. I mean, people talk about Peloton, but they don't talk about it this much.
Right.
So
I think that despite the quote unquote negative publicity, I think they probably sold more.
Yeah, any publicity is good publicity.
There you go. That's the point.
Yeah, so it's just crazy to think about that.
I just thought it was funny because that was like literally the first thing that popped up when I was like Googling topics. It was like Peloton husband. I'm like, all right, now what?
Well, I mean, these are the things that people think about. Is just like, was this intentional? Because you don't know if it was intentional for them to do that, but you can't predict that, everyone will react the way they reacted.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's interesting and it's great to have some sort of update, but that's hilarious that he would do that.
Yeah.
And I just kind of wish that he had his wife's reaction.
It's his girlfriend.
Or his girlfriend's reaction.
I need an update on the girlfriend then.
Yeah.
What's her take?
Well, I guess he should have had like a engagement ring on the
He's really milking this whole thing because his name on Instagram is Peloton husband.
Oh.
Isn't that dumb?
Oh, so then he's definitely trying to milk it just so he can get another job.
Right.
Does he not? Have you had any update on like what jobs he has had? Because I know the Peloton lady has had that other job.
And she was on like the Today Show or something? Some morning show she was on.
Yeah, I think so.
Like explaining herself.
Yeah, talking about the whole thing
But yeah, I when I saw that was his Instagram name, I'm like, all right, buddy, come on.
Yeah, he's definitely milking that Nesquik style.
Nesquik?
Is that milk? That's powdered milk.
Not really.
It's powdered milk.
Exactly.
Wait, do you have to add milk to that?
No.
I forgot how to make Nesquik now.
We've gone off the rails.
Wait, so hold up. I'm kind of stuck on this because when I used to make Nesquik, from what I remember, would you use water and then you're adding milk and then you're adding the powder?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. I didn't. Never mind.
Okay.
It seems like.
Can we move on?
No. It seems like it's one of those things that you're like, just add water and you get milk, like type of thing.
No.
Whatever. I haven't made it in a long time, so
Okay,
don't
well,
judge me.
Anyways,
Don't judge me.
I'm not.
You're judging me.
Okay. In other weird news, is that good? I found this article about a Colorado daycare owner that was charged after allegedly hiding toddlers behind a false wall. Now, I think this is a weird title because they make it seem like these kids have been kidnapped and they've been hiding behind this wall for years.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I originally thought when I read the title.
Well, that's what I'm thinking now.
Okay, see? So I'm like, wait a minute, how is this daycare still operating if all these kids are going missing every time they go there? I was so confused. But the real story is that I guess this lady who owns the daycare, she was licensed to have a maximum of 6 kids in her house to take care of at one time.
Oh, I see where this is going.
And she had 26 kids that were all under the age of 3 and only 2 adults like supervising or taking care of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the ratios, I don't know if they're the same throughout the United States, but in Pennsylvania, I think it's 1 per 4
Mm-hmm.
or 5, depending on their age.
Yeah.
But definitely 3 and under is 1 to 4.
Yeah.
So if you only have 2 kids for 26 toddlers, that's obviously not great.
You mean 2 adults for 26?
What did I say?
So 2 kids for 26 toddlers. Like kids are taking care of toddlers.
No, 2 adults for 26 toddlers. It's obviously a problem.
Yeah.
So,
Well, still, how is it still operating with the thought that it had, 2 adults for 26 toddlers? I guess they changed things now, but
what
still,
do you mean?
You said that it's still like operating.
No, I didn't say that.
Oh, I thought you said, because you basically said, how are they still operating if they had kids that gone?
No, I'm
went
saying
missing?
at one point there were 26 kids there and only 2 adults.
Okay.
So at one point they operated like that.
Yeah. Well,
But they don't anymore. I think they shut it down. But
so they completely shut it down. Like this.
well, they
not
took her
happening.
license away
okay.
to operate a daycare.
Okay. I
And
thought you were going a
she's-
completely different direction with the title of this.
That's what I said. It's very misleading.
I guess they were just trying to draw people in.
Right? Yeah, I'm like, a false wall. But
Holding all these kids in a well.
The name of the place is Play Mountain Place in Colorado Springs. In case anybody lives out there, don't take your kids. Hide your kids, hide your wives.
Well, it seems like they're trying to hide your kids.
Exactly. And this lady's facing charges related to child abuse and attempting to influence a public servant, which I don't know what that means.
I don't know what it means either.
Comment below.
We have
I guess
any law experts.
There was a complaint they received in November that the police followed up with a welfare check. And when the police originally went into the daycare, they didn't find any kids there. And then I guess they were like snooping around and they're like, oh, what's this? And it was like a weird wall.
How didn't they find any kids there? Did they hide all of the kids at one time?
Well, yeah, I guess they said it was a basement they were in or something like that.
Okay.
So when they first went there, none of them were upstairs, like in plain sight. They were all in the basement with these 2 adults taking care of them.
So then that at least that's a little bit safe, right? They're trying to be with all the kids. I'm not saying that it's right. But I'm just saying that at least they're with all of the kids instead of like hiding some of the kids behind the wall and saying, hey, fend for yourself. Here's a fruit
candy?
Here's a fruit cup. Just go
Yeah.
ahead and eat it. And share it amongst the 20 of you.
I don't know how 2 adults can take care of 26 kids under 3 years old.
Yeah,
that's insane.
impossible. Yeah. Harper's very tough to deal with at times, so I couldn't imagine having 26.
No.
25, but not 26.
Yeah.
So we have gotten a lot of traction with one of our videos on our Clips channel.
Yes.
And it was Andrew Yang. So 2020 presidential candidate Andrew Yang, and I wanted to...
You mean John Yang?
John Yang, yes, John Yang. No, and I wanted to talk about, first just talk about his debate because we just had the 6th Democratic debate, which I wouldn't say that I'm 100% into politics, and I don't think you're 100% into politics, but as I get older, I'm starting to get into politics a little bit more. So I wanted to talk about the 6th Democratic debate. And there were a couple of key things that happened, and they said that some of the winners of the debate, the main person that a lot of people said was Andrew Yang because of the things that he said. And the funny thing is he had the least amount of talking time. So let's actually so every single debate he had the least amount of talking time. And let's go ahead. I have a link here to show you the talking time that everybody had. So if you look at, even though they only had 7 candidates, and Tom Steyer, which is the lone billionaire on the stage, right? He had, basically 1 more minute than Andrew Yang, even though he's not really I don't really consider him as an established person. Like he's been on the stage, twice?
Well, or you could look at it that he just can concisely say what he has to say, and then that's it.
Yeah, and that's
because a lot of these people just like that Klobuchar lady. Like I feel like she talks forever.
Yes.
And like her response could have been done 2 minutes ago, but she just keeps going and going and going in order to have the most talk time.
Yeah, and a lot of people say that she has like rehearsed lines, like really rehearsed lines, which I understand you should have some things that are rehearsed, but like she has these rehearsed mom jokes, and they're pretty funny. I didn't even think that was a thing, but until I heard her jokes, and I was like, yeah, I can see it.
I don't know. It's just there was a bunch of times where they kept trying to cut her off, and she kept going.
Yeah.
And
because what she has to say is important.
But like the words that came out of her mouth after they were trying to stop her didn't add anything to the argument. Yeah. They're just like
kind of took something
fluff.
Away from took something away from it.
I'm like, just shut up already.
But yeah, I mean, he had this much talk time, less talk time than everybody, literally half of Sanders and Klobuchar, and he won the debate. So like, just imagine if he had the amount of talk time that they had.
Or he could have won the debate because he had such a short.
Well, that's the thing. Like all of his, the thing is that they ask him like probably 2 questions or 3 questions or 4 questions when they ask everybody else, 10 questions. Right, and then they have follow-ups, and, everybody's arguing back and forth. So they go to Klobuchar, then they go to Sanders. Then they go,
well, yeah, that was Biden. Annoying.
And it's just like one question, but they're all going back and forth. But you know who's not getting called on in this? Andrew Yang. Yeah. And he has something to say when it comes to healthcare and all that stuff. He has something to say. Yeah. So I mean, I think it's pretty funny.
I think they should divide up the questions so that each person gets the same amount of questions.
Well, yeah.
Why don't they do it that way?
Once you get to a certain point, you get to a certain level. Like say, at this level, I think that they should be taking the question and say, "What's your take on it?" You know what I mean? Because it's not even about arguing at this point, because they just want people to push down or knock down their talking points, and they're going to say, oh, well, I'm for Medicare for all, I'm for a public option, and then they're going to say, why are you for this and why are you for that? But then they keep going back and forth, even though they keep repeating the same exact thing. How about you go to somebody that has a different idea or a different look on it? So when you get to candidates this small, I feel like you should be calling on everybody, and they should be getting close to equal time.
Right.
Like it looks like the top 5. The top 5 are getting close to equal time, even to Biden. And then you have Steyer and Yang, where they're like, you know what, we don't even want to give them the time that they deserve. Mm-hmm. They made it to the 6th debate, but it doesn't matter because we don't care about them. And that's not what I want to hear.
Well, I would say Biden still got significantly less than the top 4 because they're all right around 19, 20 minutes, but his is all the way at 15 minutes.
Well, a lot of people...
So that's still a significant difference.
Oh, yeah. Well, a lot of people say that, his time... he didn't really have a good debate, and it's not just because of the things that he said. He just didn't have any comebacks when everybody else they were going back and forth. So that's why they have that extra 4 minutes and extra 5 minutes compared to Biden, and extra 10 minutes compared to Yang. Mm-hmm. So Biden cuts himself off a lot. He'll literally stop because he just didn't know what he was supposed to say, and it's so funny. Or his teeth fall out his mouth. But yeah, I mean, I wanted to actually go through a couple of things. They had a couple of responses that I had here, and I want to, listen to those responses. I'm not going to play them on camera because I don't want anything to, happen to where, I guess I'm not even monetized, but eventually, if this catches traction, I get demonetized or whatever. I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to play this, and I'll play a little clip on the screen, but we're going to watch this.
The more we act like Donald Trump is the cause of all of our problems, the more Americans lose trust that we can actually see what's going on in our communities and solve those problems. What we have to do is we have to stop being obsessed over impeachment, which unfortunately strikes many Americans like a ball game where you know what the score is going to be.
When you think of that, like when you actually watch that, the thing he was trying to say is the fact that yeah, we voted for this to be taken to the Senate, but we're wasting our time with impeachment because no matter what, you need like 20 Republicans to cross the line in order for him to actually get impeached. So it's a waste of time.
Well, so there was something that I was reading that even though they probably know it's a waste of time, they still want to hold him accountable for the things that he's done and can't just be like glazed over and be like, oh, well, this isn't going to go through, so we're just going to forget that it ever happened.
Yeah, and that's where you're like in between like a rock and a hard place here, because they
Yeah.
always ask everybody like, hey, you know, should Donald Trump be getting impeached? And it's like, yes, from the things that he did,
Right.
yes, he should be getting impeached. But is he actually going to get impeached because people are so like stuck up their own, you know, keister that they just say, you know what, I'm going to vote with my party no matter what he did, even though I know he did something wrong. And that's what's sad. And
Yeah.
if he's not going to get impeached, we're wasting our time focusing on impeachment, and then he's just going to use this against everyone, all the Democrats, and say, you know what, you know, they, you know, wrongfully accused me of doing this, and I didn't get, you know, impeached, and all this other stuff, and it's just going to be completely ridiculous. And I thought that was an amazing answer, because he said it from the beginning. Hey, you know, don't focus on impeachment. We don't need to focus on impeachment, but you know, what do we do here? You know,
Yeah.
that's the question. So I thought that was interesting. And I wanted to get into one more key piece of it. It was about candidates of color, which was a big topic because he was the only candidate of
Yeah.
color on stage.
It's both an honor and disappointment to be the lone candidate of color on the stage tonight. I miss Kamala, I miss Cory, though I think Cory will be back. And the question is, why am I the lone candidate of color on this stage? Fewer than 5% of Americans donate to political campaigns. You know what you need to donate to political campaigns? Disposable income.
He's got a good point.
He's got a great point. I mean, you sit here and look at like all the people that, you know, need disposable income. But first, I like what he said in the beginning when he said it's both an honor and a disappointment, because like obviously he knows that, you know, it's an honor to represent people of color, but then it's also a disappointment. I mean, that you
'Cause
don't
no one
have,
else is there.
you don't have all these people that are there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's insane to think that, you know, you have these qualifications that, you know, you can't get people on stage, people of color on stage, because nobody's donating to their campaign. The people that want to donate to their campaign can't because they don't have the means to do so.
Right.
So I think that that's pretty interesting. I don't know your take on that.
There's a bunch of people who I'm assuming would want to put money towards a campaign like his or one of the other candidates who aren't there anymore, but they don't have the money to do so.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming a lot of the more rich white people do, and that's why it looks the way it does on the debate.
Yeah, it's very tough to deal with. I have friends that I know that, you know, don't really pay attention to politics because, one, they don't have the money to put towards a candidate so that, you know, they can get them on stage. They just have to watch and hope that you get someone on stage that, you know, represents them. So it's pretty interesting. I love that take, and a lot of people love that as well. And I just want to see how he does in the 6th debate. I hope that he gets there. Right now, he hasn't qualified for it. Yeah, but I hope that it doesn't just become that there's no candidates of color on the stage. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah.
I did want to look at a different piece that he talks about on his website. He has, you know, where he reduces the student loan burden. And I know that, you know, you're familiar with student loans, right? You had student loans. I have student loans. You don't have as much as I do, but
Nope.
We both have student loans. But it's a crazy issue that the world is dealing with. And a lot of people want to know, like, what are candidates going to do for student loans? And the first thing people say is, hey, are you going to wipe out student loan debt? I don't know if you think that's possible.
Well, I don't know. Like, if they present a feasible idea to say this is what we're going to do, and we have to take 1, 2, 3 steps to get there, and if they say those things and it sounds like it'll work, then sure. But if you're just gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna erase everyone's student loans, and they're like, well, how? And like, you know, I'm just gonna do it.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
That's the
Then
funny
I'm like,
thing.
all right, well,
That's the funny thing. They did that for the banks, you know, in the whole 2008, 2009 real estate bubble,
Yeah.
like that, the housing bubble.
Mhm.
They did that for the banks. So
Right.
they gave billions of dollars to
Right.
the banks. And now, you know, we're sitting at what, $1.4 trillion in the U.S. for student loan debt. And that's just absolutely insane, to think about. And what Andrew Yang is saying is basically that, they can erase our debt just like they erased, the bank's debt. If they're going to bail them out, they can bail us out. And it's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So like I notice all the people around us, they have some form of student loan debt, whether it's, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 or upwards of 100,000.
Yeah.
And some people are looking to just get it erased. They're like, hey, I want it gone,
Yeah.
So I think where they should be starting at, like he's basically saying, like his quote on here, I will explore a blanket partial reduction of outstanding student loans for recent graduates, call it the bailout for the people, which makes sense. You're bailing out the people just like they bailed out the banks. But I think that they need to start at a different point, and I understand bailing out all of our student loan debt, but I think that they need to get to a different place to where tuition isn't so high.
Yeah.
So like when you go to college, it's $10,000 a year. Why is it $10,000 a year when 10 years ago it was $2,000?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think they need to start. I don't know how they would do any type of regulation, but I feel like that's where they need to start. And it would have been great if they could have started before I went to college and you went to college, but whatever, that's fine. So I think that this is a great policy. Just looking at this on his website, it's a great policy.
Well, my question is, when he says a partial reduction of outstanding student loans, does that mean like a percentage of each loan, or does it mean like every student loan that's outstanding automatically has $1,000 taken off or something like that?
Well,
is it the same for every loan, or like a percentage based on how much you still owe, or did he like get into that at all?
No, that's what I don't understand. And he says that it may be something to where it's like I can't remember exactly how it goes, but somebody close to me has like this whole program to where they can erase your student loan debt, and that's where it would be. It's like if you get to a certain point and you're paying your bill for like you're paying your loan amount for 10 years, then they wipe it clean. Yeah. So that would only be for that person. So it's kind of like partial there, or they might be what you're saying is to where they wipe out a portion of your debt. Like if you owe 50,000, they'll cut it in half. Now you owe 25. So something like that. And I don't know if that'll help everybody, because some people have upwards of $500,000 in, student loan debt.
Well, it doesn't matter. I think reducing it by any amount is going to help everybody.
Well, yeah.
Even if it is a significant amount, like even if their loan is for a significant amount and he only reduces it by $1,000, it's still $1,000 you don't have to pay.
What is that cat doing? He's like reaching under. It's funny. But yeah, I mean, student loans, we have to deal with that, and he has a great policy for it, but I just want to see a little bit more, and I want them to ask these questions. They're asking the same questions over and over again in these debates, but I don't want to get back to that. Let's go ahead and get into the other piece. So the other piece that I had was Medicare for all. So this is something that a lot of people say that we need is healthcare for everyone, which is, you probably believe in that.
Yeah.
But I just think it's absolutely, like, it's not feasible. You can't do it, because if you do it, then...
Well, then how does every other country in the world have free healthcare to everyone?
Well, see, this is the thing. Like Canada, they have free healthcare to everyone, right?
That's what I'm saying.
But people come here for procedures because of quality. So
do they?
Yeah, they come here for better procedures, and so that they don't have like any like wait times or anything like that, because everybody has free healthcare. If someone needs I don't know what type of procedure. Can you name a procedure? Like something, anything?
I don't know. What do you mean?
Like any type
in regards to what?
Any type of procedure in regards to healthcare, like orthopedic procedure. What do doctors do?
ORIF?
Sure, if you know what that means. So they're trying to do this procedure, and they have people lined up through the door, not actually lined up through the door, but like on the charts, on the schedule, and you can't get in. So
you're saying that they're so busy that they would have to wait months in order for them to have a procedure like that done, where if they would come here, they could get it done earlier?
Yeah, that and the quality wouldn't be as good. So this is what I feel we would deal with if they do it the wrong way. There has to be a better way of doing this Medicare for all. So what Bernie Sanders is actually saying when it comes to Medicare for all is he's saying that, he wants
the top 1%.
The top 1%. Can't do his voice. But what he's saying is that we're going to wipe away all like private insurances and then say, we're just going to bring in this Medicare and, they're going to be illegal. Those insurances are going to be illegal, which means that doctors can't get paid as much because if we're just offering Medicare, like let's go through numbers. So if Medicare only gives you $75 and a private insurer will give you $140, like you're going to be losing out on that potential revenue. You're going to be gaining like nothing for a hospital, and hospitals are going to close down. Then you're going to have to hire subpar doctors, which won't give you the quality, and you're going to be stuck like at a point to where, you're basically Canada, which, I mean, I'm nothing against Canada, nothing against Canada at all. But I'm saying that, you got to implement it the right way. You got to make sure that the way that he has it going for him, the way that he has explained it in other videos was that you have our current system where you have private insurances, but you bring in a public option or you bring in Medicare for all, an option that they can choose and say, this option is better than your current insurance. And if it is better than your insurance, then people will start to move over because they're not going to have to pay as much. And then you understand exactly what the price point will be as a government standpoint. You know how much you can pay hospitals to keep them in business. And then you can really like get your feet wet and do it slowly. But everybody else is saying, no, we need to like cut, private insurance and, go from there and see how things work. Some people are saying, let's have a public option, which may be a better alternative than just Medicare for all, but they need some sort of,
I was going to say some sort of healthcare. Well, the other thing is healthcare that doesn't rely on having a job. Like,
yes,
it's stupid that I was just talking to a friend today who went from working full time to working per diem, and they got all of their benefits cut and all this and that. So, I mean, they have insurance through her job, but why does insurance have to be tied to whether you have a job or not?
Yeah, that's the main.
That's the other thing.
That's the main thing he brings up. It's
yeah,
like, it's tied to your job. Why does it need to be tied to your
right.
job? And people aren't choosing the best opportunity job-wise because they don't want to give up their insurance.
Well, exactly.
Well. So I thought this was interesting, to see. I want to see more of his thoughts on this, but they don't really bring him in on these debates. And I keep going back to the debates, but if they would bring him in saying, hey, what's your take on, Medicare for all? What's your take on healthcare? Let us know what you think, but they don't. So I'm really interested to see how he responds to that if he does get into the seventh debate. But yeah, we'll have to see.
Okay. In more important news, just kidding, the internet can't decide which way this person is swinging. Person is swinging.
I understood what you said.
Okay.
I didn't really hear that.
Okay, wait. So you need to watch this video and then put it on the screen for the viewers to watch.
Okay.
So they can decide for themselves.
And where's this video? Is it a TikTok?
Right there.
The TikTok?
Yep.
I still don't get TikTok.
Back there, bend this way.
So which way do you think, based on this video, do you think he's facing? Towards the camera or towards the building?
I'm 100% right.
He's definitely towards the camera.
Right?
Yeah, he's definitely towards the camera.
Okay, so that's exactly what I thought. Like my first thought was he's 100% towards the camera. But if you scroll down, there's people on Twitter arguing about this. Like, he's facing the building. I don't care what y'all say. Like, what?
You have no factual evidence that he is actually facing the building.
If you go down a little bit further, there's someone who, like, really goes into it. I think,
yeah, it has to be towards you. Like, look at the way that he swing. There's no way that you could swing down like that. Because if he was back this way and he was straight up, then that would make sense. But if you're swinging up that way, there's no way you're going to be down. His feet are down there.
Right.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, so go down a little bit more. This, I think, no, not that one. There, that one. He's facing the building. There's two swing sets, and that's effing the perspective up where you see the poles as he reaches the top of the swing. physics, the way you move on a swing for propulsion, and biology, how a human's knees bend, support this. I don't know what the hell like kind of drugs are on.
Yeah, there's so many drugs.
But how does that make any type of sense?
It doesn't.
You can see their legs bending like as if they're facing you.
Absolutely not. I do not believe this. And if he's just trying to start something, I feel like he's trying to start something because there's no.
Wait, so play it
freaking
again.
way.
Go to, like, I'm just really confused.
Back there, bend this way.
He's definitely facing towards us.
Right.
Yeah, there's no way.
Ow, I'm 100% right.
I'll bet you $500 cash right now.
I bet you $500 cash right now. No, this is.
I thought it was going to be more.
Back there, bend this way.
Yeah, they're stupid. The people that are saying that he's facing the building, they're stupid. And if you think he's facing the building, you're stupid as well.
Yeah.
I don't believe you, and I have no evidence because I'm not that person. But if you just look at it, you can see that he's swinging towards, because obviously when you get closer, so like when he's swinging back, he's straight up. Then when he's swinging forward, he doesn't go as high, and his head is before his feet. Like it doesn't.
I know. I first when I saw this video, I thought it was gonna be like where you would like flip flop and be like, oh, he's facing the camera. Like, oh, wait a minute, no, he's facing the building.
Like the dress or something. Like,
right.
I keep going back to that dress color.
Well, yeah, that's what they brought up in this article here was like the dress's color. You could, depending on how you were looking at it or how long you were looking at it, you could see different colors or whatever. So I thought that that's how this video was going to be, was that you were going to see it one way and then watch it again and see it another way and go back and forth. But I literally see it facing the camera every time.
Yeah. Well, what kind of camera are they using? Because that's
probably a iPhone or Galaxy or something.
That's a horrible camera because you can't even see.
Well, they're really far away, it looks
like. It doesn't matter. I feel like, well, no, I still would get a better quality picture. But whatever, maybe they're just trying to start something. Maybe they said, "Hey, you know what? Go over there. We'll start something on Twitter."
I don't know.
I don't know if you could do that. I've never done it because I don't have a Twitter. But I'm 100% certain.
Yep.
You know what? Let me go back on that. Not 100% certain. 98% certain.
Ooh.
Yeah.
2%.
Yeah, 2%. I'll give them 2%.
Okay.
But it's clear to me that they're facing towards me.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
Yeah. So.
All right.
Get out of here, internet.
Right?
So I guess we have something else that's not weird.
What?
That was pretty weird. What we just talked about. Eddie Murphy. So Eddie Murphy has been everywhere for the last 3 months. And I know I'm not saying you don't like Eddie Murphy, but you don't like Eddie Murphy.
No, it's just, I don't think he's that funny.
Well, a lot of other people will argue with you, but I'm not going to sit here and argue with you now because Eddie Murphy is hilarious. But he's starting to do a lot of stuff right now because he was pretty much nowhere where he was relaxing, and he said to himself, or he didn't say to himself, but he said to, in an interview, he said to somebody in an interview, I don't know who it was, that he was basically on the couch and he was just, a dad for however many years.
Doesn't he have like 1 million kids?
He has like 8, I think, 8 or 9.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. We know somebody that had more kids. Not going to say his name or her name.
What?
It's his name. You don't know?
Oh.
I'll talk to you off camera. But Eddie Murphy is doing a lot right now. Literally late 2019. He just hosted SNL, which was hilarious. I mean, absolutely hilarious, where he did Gumby, he did Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood, which was so funny. And I want to show you it. If you would see it.
I heard you watching it, and it wasn't that funny.
You heard me watching it, but you didn't see it. You have to have the visual and the audio.
Okay.
People are gonna go wild. You better relax.
That's fine.
Just relax.
That's fine.
No, but he was on SNL, and it was really funny. He did all these characters, Velvet Jones. He did all these characters that were just amazing. They were funny, and new characters included as well. And I think that he's trying to make some sort of a comeback here. Obviously, with all of these comedians out there, you have Kevin Hart, you have Dave Chappelle, who's making a solid comeback as well, from being off for years and years. But he's planning on doing, I guess they just stopped filming. They finished filming Coming to America 2, which Coming to America 1 was hilarious. And
Not
you don't,
funny.
Did you see the whole thing?
Not the whole thing, but what I've seen is just doesn't grab my attention.
It's so funny. You are just tripping. But yeah, he was on SNL. He's finished Coming to America 2. And he said he's going to be doing stand-up, which you haven't seen a stand-up either. Mm-mm. So we need to watch all of this, and I'm going to force you to watch it because it's so funny. It is. I hope that, obviously you can't get back to a point to where he was, because the things that he used to talk about, just like a lot of the comedians, are taken as not being a joke. Yeah, right. Which is stupid. Yeah. So he can't say the things that he's said in the past, but I still hope that he can say some of the things, because a lot of things that he said on stage were super funny. Yeah. And he did a movie, Dolomite Is My Name, which is a really good movie. If you have a chance, check it out.
You got to have a lot of time cut out for it.
What is it, like 2 hours?
It's over 2 hours.
Well, it's a good movie. People set aside time for Endgame, which was a really good movie as well. But Dolomite Is My Name is super funny. So check it out if you have time. But I just wanted to shine some light on Eddie Murphy, because I've been searching on YouTube for so long with news and interviews with Eddie Murphy, because I want to see him on the screen. Even things like Daddy Daycare. I watched that with Harper, and she loved it. So I think she loved it. You don't like it, I don't think.
Well, that movie's fine. Oh, it's fine.
All right. Well, Eddie Murphy news. Great stuff. I can't wait to see all of the other stuff that he has, coming out.
We'll see.
We will see.
So.
Oh, God.
What?
I read it.
Kim and Kanye gave their daughter North Michael Jackson's jacket. Say that 10 times fast. Michael Jackson's jacket.
Michael Jackson's jacket. Not that bad.
Okay.
You just messed it up.
Great. So, if you want to... Do you know what jacket I'm talking about?
No. Do you have the
picture? If you go on the link there, he wore it to an appearance with Elizabeth Taylor. It's black with like the black chains across it, like to his shoulder. Mm-hmm.
No.
You still don't know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't. Is it like an adult jacket, or?
Yes, like he wore it as an adult.
And what, they shrink it down to?
Well, hold on, look,
Kanye West gave their eldest daughter one of Michael Jackson's jackets for Christmas. Kim K. West shared it on Instagram, saying it's the same black jacket Michael Jackson wore in photos.
Okay, so
later on, as in like not now.
I don't know, but
I'm sorry.
It's more than $65,000, which I don't know why that lady seemed like that was so much money, because I'm sure that's pocket change to them.
Well, I mean, it's still $65,000 for one way to waste your money. That's what I thought about as soon as she said that. That's a huge way to waste your money, but that's just me.
But yeah, so what I thought was dumb was that they gave it to her to wear, which I think reduces the value. Don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're looking to sell it. I don't know.
No, but I'm just saying, like, if for whatever reason, if she grows up and then maybe wants to sell it, but I don't know. It just seems like that would be something that you would want to purchase and then preserve for future generations or whatever. So I just think it's weird that they're like, oh yeah, we're just gonna, she's gonna wear it. And I'm like, what?
Well, they said they had to tack it up so that she can wear it in the future. Does that mean that she's going to wear it when she's little, or is she going to wear it when she gets bigger? Or
I don't know.
I don't know what that means. But still, I don't know why you would mess with it at all.
That's what I'm saying. You're messing with a piece of like history, I guess.
Yeah. That's basically what you're doing.
Yeah, and so I thought that was dumb. Yeah. And then there was also, I didn't have it on here, but there was another article that said Kylie Jenner gave her daughter Stormy, her 1-year-old daughter Stormy, a diamond ring for Christmas.
Oh, man.
And people are annoyed that she's spending all this money on stupid stuff like that. Like, oh, you could be feeding hungry people or doing this or that, and you're buying your daughter a diamond ring.
Dude, you have people like Mr. Beast. Shout out to Mr. Beast. Shout out to all of the YouTubers that are out there doing these team trees and planting trees, while she's over here buying diamond rings for, a 1-year-old. This is ridiculous. People that want to save the planet and people that want to destroy the planet, I guess. You have people on both sides. that just want to create more entertainment or more news. That's what it seems like.
I don't know.
You give a child a diamond ring, you want to create more news so that people get outraged, and then they go, you know what? Look at this.
Yeah.
And now they're in the news again. So it's completely ridiculous.
You don't know anybody's motivations these days.
I don't. It seems like all of their motivation is to just get in the news and stay as like popular as they can be. Mm-hmm. And what they're going to do is the reason why they want to have all of these kids is to always have a generation in the news and always stay relevant at some point. And, you know, whether Kim is gone, whether Kanye is gone, all these people are gone, you're still going to have Northwest. You're still going to have all of these people.
Southwest, East-West.
Yeah. You're gonna have Southwest Airlines. You're going to have all of these people that are still in the news as Kardashians, even though they're like Wests and, you know, I guess Kardashians in some instances. But I've never understood this whole like.
I know.
Yeah, I can't deal with it. So hopefully that conversation is over.
Sure.
Moving on. One thing I wanted to talk about was Pete Davidson. He showed up on SNL this past week.
What do you mean showed up? Like he doesn't work there?
Well, he doesn't show up a lot. Like literally, they make jokes saying that Pete Davidson had a week off because he just.
Wait, he just doesn't go to work?
Well, no.
How does he have a job?
He doesn't. It's not that he doesn't show up. It's that they don't put him in any sketches. Like he does. He does like this sketch. Well, not a sketch, but he'll do like kind of like a stand up, sitting down on.
A sit down.
Yeah, a sit down on the Weekend Update, and he'll do maybe 5-6 minutes or so, and just rant about something, and it's funny, it's hilarious. I watch it all the time, and it usually gets millions of views.
Yeah.
Compared to some of the other videos, which may get a couple 100,000, and some videos get millions and millions, but his videos always hit the millions. So he talked about, I guess he like hinted a relationship. I don't know who the relationship is with actually. But he hinted.
I don't know who that girl is. Kaya Gerber?
Yeah. Don't know who
I don't know who that is.
But apparently.
I need to know how he gets all these girls. Like Ariana Grande.
He's hilarious.
Who was that other girl that he was just with? Kate Beckinsale?
I didn't even know about that.
Yeah.
He's hilarious. I mean, women love funny, right?
He must. No.
You thought I was funny at one point, and now I'm not funny at all. That wasn't a joke. That was serious.
But. No, he must have some sort of person who he hired to find him girlfriends. Mm-hmm. Like, there's no way that these women are like...
Well, she's 18, right? 18-year-old daughter, Kaya Gerber. So she's 18. He's 26.
Okay, gross.
Well, I don't know.
26? And why does he seem like he's 36? There's something wrong.
What did he say? You get to date famous women, and everybody's delighted, Yeah. And basically he said everybody wants to punch him in the throat when he says that he's dating somebody. So, which I understand about that because she's 18, but she's like just right above the age, I guess, when 26-year-old can. But he hinted that, and then he also hinted about rehab. I just wanted to talk about the fact that he deals with like mental illness and everything, and he's absolutely hilarious, and he talks about his mental illness all the time, and he makes jokes about it, and it's funny, right? But a lot of people do that to hide like their mental illness. Yeah, and I think
that's good that he's shedding light on mental illness, but I still feel like he needs to focus on his mental illness too.
Yeah, and I totally understand that, and that's the reason why he hinted like going to rehab, which I understand exactly what he means. But you think about it, and like if he was didn't suffer from any type of mental illness, and I'm not saying that I want him to suffer from mental illness at all. I want him to be healthy. Mm-hmm. But he is absolutely hilarious the way that he is.
Well, yeah,
but you don't want anybody to.
Right, but a lot of comedians are like that.
Yeah,
though.
That's the thing. I don't want to lose his comedy because I think that he's super funny. Right. And not only just him focusing on mental illness, I like when he focuses on other things. And it's just funny the way his attitude towards things. Mm-hmm. And I don't want his attitude to change, but then again, I do want him to be healthy, and that's what matters in this world, right? So. I just wanted to, I don't know if you've seen it. Do you want to watch it? We can watch it, but I guess you can't watch it. So
We'll just leave the link below.
Well, yeah, we'll leave the link below, I guess. So, yeah, I mean, looking at that, right, you can see that he hinted everything. So he talks about relationships. He talked about going to rehab, you know,
Yeah.
where you still have a roommate across the $100,000.
Well, he made it sound like it was jail.
Well, they take your shoelaces?
Yeah.
I think when you deal with mental illnesses, like that's the issue. So
Sounded like jail to me.
But yeah, I mean, they think you could do some horrible things with shoelaces and other things that are rope-like.
Rope-like, okay.
So, I mean, it's interesting just looking at that. And now
that's funny. I think that's funny.
Well, yeah, the way that he talks about it is funny, but then the actual detail behind it.
Well, yeah, I know.
Pretty dark, pretty sad.
I know.
So I just want him to get better, and I want him to remain funny in some way, but I don't want him to, suffer from this whole mental illness thing. But
agreed.
Yeah.
Okay, so this last article we have related to YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
This guy, he's a Moroccan YouTube star who was sentenced to 4 years in jail for insulting the king.
Insulting the Moroccan king.
Yeah. They apparently have kings over there. His YouTube name is Mol Kaskika. Not sure about that. Yeah. His real name is Mohammed Sakaki.
Mm-hmm.
He has 350,000 subscribers.
Wow.
And I think it was some live stream that he did where he called Moroccans donkeys and was criticizing the king, and I'm not sure what all was said because he doesn't speak English, but apparently it was something so bad that he was sentenced to 4 years in prison. But the other thing I read in here was that normally it says the criminal code for insulting magistrates carries a prison term of between 1 month and 1 year. So I'm not sure how he ended up with 4 years.
Maybe he had multiple insults.
I guess. But I'm just wondering if this is actually he's actually going to go to jail, or he's just going to get everything.
I don't even understand that. I mean, we live in America, right?
I was going to say
where they make fun of Donald Trump literally every second of every day.
Yeah.
And
that's funny that you mentioned that, but keep going.
Well, why is it funny? Anyways, well, it's hilarious because you think about it, and he insults the king or says something, and I don't want to say anything.
Yeah.
I don't want him to assassinate me, or have people assassinate me. He's not going to do it himself. He might.
Okay.
No, but it's funny because we have people that make fun of our president 24 hours a day, and then the next president comes in and they make fun of him or her.
Right.
And that's just how it goes. And I guess they just don't have free speech.
Things are different in other countries.
Yeah.
But no, it's funny that you brought up Donald Trump because I said this sounds like something Trump would do. Putting someone in jail for criticizing him or something like that.
Yeah, it sounds. I think he probably wants to do that with everybody. I think he has the whistleblower or whatever, and he wanted them to come forward so that he can basically do things behind closed doors with that person.
What?
Not I don't know why you brought that to a sexual point.
Well, it sounded weird.
No, I meant behind closed doors, as in that person will not exist anymore, something like that. So I don't know, but all I know is this guy had a lot of subscribers, 350,000.
Well, 350,000 is a lot, but I mean, there's people who have more.
Well, there's people who have less.
Yeah, true.
We got 41 and counting. Probably got one more right now.
Yeah, so I guess his lawyer said that he's gonna appeal the decision.
What, to get a year or something?
I don't know. I have a feeling that this guy's probably not gonna go to jail for anything. They're just using it as a scare tactic or something like that.
Yeah, trying to enforce a law to say, hey, just don't talk about me on your videos or whatever. But I still think it's pretty funny. I mean,
funny.
Not funny, but funny to think about that we talk about Donald Trump all the time. We talk about every single person that we can, anybody. Mm-hmm. And, you could talk about the military if you want to. You have free speech, but then other countries don't have this free speech. Mm-hmm. And, they say one bad thing and they're going to jail for 4 years. So, it's interesting and funny in some points.
Yeah.
But, I think it's interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was an interesting thing that was in the news today.
All right. Well, I'm very tired. So,
same.
What time is it? It's super late. I'm very tired. So we're going to go ahead and get out of here. I think this is going to be a nightmare to edit because we had a lot of back and forth. Am I right?
Yep.
No. But make sure you hit the like button on this video. Seriously, that helps us out. It's episode 3. So if you want to check out any clips, make sure you check out the link in the description. We'll have all of the clips from this episode up on that channel. And we have like 41 subscribers. So go over there and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And, hit the like button on every video that you can. Watch it and hit the like button. That helps us out a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything that you want to say to the people?
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thank you for watching. I am super tired. I don't want to say anything else.
Okay.
But like and subscribe.
Bye.
And I'll see you next time.